Dyer's Daily.
There was a time, I remember, in the radio industry where people involved in that industry were a little bit afraid of transitioning over to video because certainly in my mind at that time, we're talking maybe 2012, 2013, TV was TV and radio was radio. There were two separate mediums. And then I stumbled upon a radio presenter called Ron Sedaley, who presented on a channel that he no longer does. He went on to start his own, but he became somewhat famous among the radio community for doing these visual air checks. So a visual representation of what he was doing. There was not really any music in it, just his links in between and watching and pushing all the buttons and stuff like that. And that, you might say, dear listener, was my way into doing the same thing. When I did the odd radio show for people, I would sometimes have a spare camera. At first, the camera was just pointing at me, so you saw me talking into a microphone. Then I realized, well, some people want to see the other side. They want to see the computer I'm using or the button I'm pressing. So I started to position it from the side. And while I was very skeptical about doing this, and a lot of people were, now it's kind of prominent in the radio space. When I started doing that, people would go onto YouTube, they'd see you doing the visual air check with the little bumper at the front that I had made and me introducing the song over the top of music, just seeing stuff that you would do in a different space. And they'd say, where can I tune into this? So it actually increased the amount of interest in my radio work, which I think if I hadn't have had it at that time, I perhaps wouldn't have had as many listeners, but, as you'll soon find out, that would lead the way into podcasting a lot later on. And certainly now, with some podcasts, you get an audio version and a video version. They go hand in hand. They're not kind of separated anymore. And I think that's for the better, because it means that the people who like it, traditional, audio only, just you, some headphones and the listener. It's wonderful. For those who want to have it on in the background, see some studio, a little bit behind the scenes, wonderful. So, yeah, do try it out if you are an upcoming radio presenter.
Dyer's Daily.